is Queen Tia. What's up, y'all? My name is Queen Tia, and I am here to talk about something that's been on my mind all weekend. So I am a avid listener of the Joe Budden podcast. I have been for a long time. I think I was listening even before Maul was even on the show, and I think there was a woman on the show or something like that. Um, anyway, but in recent years, I got more into listening to it as I started to follow Joe Budden more and more. I became a okay. So sorry about that. I actually got a call right in the middle of it. I'm not sure what happened. My son called me. Anyways, but I was talking about Joe Budden podcast and Mall. So, like I said, I've been an active listener. I've, went from Apple Music over to Apple Podcasts over to Spotify. When they made that huge switch, I subscribed. I paid for Spotify just so that I could have, commercial-free access to the Joe Budden podcast. Now, I will say that Maul has always been problematic. And here's some examples why. I remember when the Me Too movement first started happening. And, sexual harassment was on the tip of everyone's tongue, and harassment in the workplace was there up for everybody. And Maul just had a hard time grasping how or why it was inappropriate for him to be soliciting sex from women at work. Not for him particularly, but for men in general to be able to solicit sex from women. And there's this idea that, oh, well, if we can't walk up to you and hit on you at work, or we can't walk up to you, he's like, if I'm not aggressive, like, how am I supposed to know, who's into me? He's like, I've had women turn me down for not being too aggressive. First of all, who are these women? How old were these women? What type of mental mentality did these women have that when you approached them in a respectable manner, they turned you down or said, oh, you weren't aggressive enough? Like, who were you dealing with? First, I think you need to question the type of women that you're even approaching if this is the type of response that you're getting from them. Because let me tell you, I'm a grown woman. I am whole and complete in my womanhood. I'm whole and complete in myself. I am confident. I may not be, society's standard of what beautiful is, but I know that in my heart and to the men who matter to me, I am the most beautiful thing they've seen. To my ancestors, I am drop dead gorgeous. And to me, that's all that matters. And I would never, ever, ever allow any man to come up to me overly aggressive. Grab me if you want to. Be aggressive, sexually aggressive towards me if you want to. That's going to turn me all the way off. And I'm going to tell you up front, like, don't approach me like that. Don't talk to me like that. Like, you don't have permission for me to talk to me in that manner because I'm a grown woman and I understand that sex is a negotiation. Once I agree that I am interested in you and I let you know that I'm interested in you, that's when you can start to pursue or ask me about sex. Until I give you that green light, until I verbally say that I'm interested in having a sexual relationship with you, do not come extra sexually aggressive towards me. And Maul just had a hard time distinguishing immature girls from grown women who are saying that they don't like sex. To a low self-esteem woman, an immature girl, that is a-okay. Be extra sexually aggressive with me because that's the only type of love that I know how to receive. That's the only type of attention that I know how to get from a man is when a man is after me for my sexuality and for my body and for things like that. So if you don't do that to me, then I don't think you like me. That is just an immature woman. That is just a woman who is, has a low self-esteem and feels like sex in her body is almost all she has to offer a man. But to a woman who truly knows herself, she would never accept some man that she doesn't know coming up to her in some sexually aggressive manner. And the voice of women who say they don't like that shit, to me, in my opinion and in my experience, is much louder than the few girls who say that they do. And so to you, I say, if you come across a woman like that who you treat with kindness and respect, and she turned you down because you weren't aggressive or you weren't some other kind of way, don't be with that woman. Clearly, that woman has got some other issues. She's got some other things that she needs to work out, but do not focus on her. But that is just one of the things that Maul had. He has this attitude like, oh, well, Now that we can't approach you and ask you about sex, like we just said, the human population is going to die. Ain't nobody going to get together. As if men cannot think of any other more acceptable way of approaching women for sex. Like there's just no other way. We're out there. Also, there was an instance, and I don't know this singer's name, so I'm somebody look it up. I don't know her name, but there was a singer recently who was found out to have created a whole separate um, Twitter account so that she can go online and, anonymously troll and gaslight black women and tear black women down and dark skinned people down, especially dark skinned women. And, Joe Budden, Rory, and Parks, rightfully so, were like, nah, like this is unacceptable. She shouldn't be doing that. Get that shit out of her. Get her up out of here. We're canceled. Maul is, oh, she can call me nigga any day she wants. Because as long as she look good and I get to have pussy, you can disrespect me, disrespect my ancestors, and belittle my race and my people as much as you want, as long as I get the pussy. This is how little Maul thinks of himself and how little he cares for black women. Maul has openly admitted that he did not realize how many women in his own inner circle have been victims of sexual assault and have been victims of sexual harassment because he has never cared to ask. But he's been up here pretty much gaslighting and copping for some of these rapists and these sexual assaulters and, really going up against the Me Too movement without ever even doing any research or taking any look into it. So, knowing this, and then there was recently a conversation about interracial relationships or black men preferring Spanish women. I think it came up because, society and Twitter were trying to say that Joe Budden doesn't really fuck with, black women. And so the conversation came up, and Maul's just like, well, if that's your preference, then, you can't nobody be mad at you for what you prefer. Can't nobody be mad at you for what you like. And it really like hurt my heart that the only person who truly got it was Roy. The only person who truly understood what black women were saying was a white man. Two black men on the show did not understand what black women were saying and why it was problematic for black men to be preferring Spanish women, Asian women, white women. And, Rory basically said, it's not, the interracial relationship that's the problem. It's more the fact that everywhere you look, when you see a black man, it's with a non-black woman, and the societal construct that's being attached to that is that black women aren't worthy, black women aren't desirable, those things that are being attached to black men not being with black women that black women have a problem with. And this is what Rory was saying. And I was okay, yeah, like that's exactly what we've been saying. And this idea that the only way black people can be happy is with non-black people. So for Maul to continue to go on, yeah, but that's your preference, that's your preference. My whole question to him is like, how can you prefer a race of women that you do not even know on an intimate level? You were in the womb of a dark-skinned black woman. I believe he has a twin sister. You shared a womb with a black woman. You know black women from a cellular level. You were in your mother before your mother even was born. You were within her. You know black women on an intimate level, but you prefer a group and a race of women that you know nothing about other than how they look on TV and what they look like when they walk by you and what you hear other people say about them and, the few experiences that you've had dating them. But you actually do not know these women on the intimate level, and yet you can sit up here and justify your preference of them over the women that you know, over the women that raised you, bred you, and if you don't understand how, if when you were born, your first love is your mother, your first love was a black woman, and now as a grown man, you don't prefer to be with women that look like your mother, and you think it's not rooted in anti-blackness. What you are experiencing is anti-blackness, and you're just not willing to do the work necessary to dissect where your preference is coming from. Because if you really look at it, you have no reason to prefer a group of women that you barely even know. You don't know them. and everything that they are is what their men have raised them to be. So when you're sitting here begging up, these Spanish, oh, I just prefer Spanish girls. You prefer Spanish men too. So while you're down there kissing Spanish women's ass, stay on down there while the men walk up and you can be kissing their ass too. Because Spanish men is what's uplifting Spanish women to be who they are, while you're too busy downing your group of women and talking shit about your own women, the women who groomed you, the women who instilled the confidence in you, the women who gave you your name, the women who gave you your first breath on this planet. You have the audacity to sit up here and say some things about them. And let's get into what these tweets were saying, right? I actually don't remember them all. So I'm just gonna, do the ones that say that like stood out to me, like saying like, black women who will put their daughter's hair in a ponytail so tight that their eyes squint, and then tell people that their father is mixed. Like who, who, who is doing this? What black women are you talking about? Are you talking about your own mom? Did your mom do that to your sisters? Did your aunties do that? Like, who did you see doing this? Or this whole, oh, black women only want you to put sperm in a condom. Why they act like they getting shot if they get any sperm on them? Um, just because black women don't want your bodily fluids on them, don't make them anything. Don't make them, less than or not as good because they're not a fucking porn star. They are women. We are human beings with our own feelings and our own autonomy. And one woman's discomfort with sperm, another black woman is not. I was like, so for you to sit there and say that type of shit, it's like where, why, like what? And then to be like, oh, I'm not gonna lie, Spanish women and white women and Asian women are really moving, are killing black women in a sexual or hierarchy or some shit like that. Like what? To say things like that is really to sit here and base black women's sole purpose off of sex, as if that is all we can contribute, as if that is all we are worth, and we are worth so much more. We are black culture. The culture don't move without black women. Who you are, rap, hip hop, none of it would exist without black women. Black women created the space for these black men to thrive and create hip hop and create rap. So for you to sit here and have such disdain for black women is really crazy to me. I don't even understand. And then be in hip hop culture as if you don't know the historical influences that black women have made for hip hop and have contributed to rap. And if you don't know, I suggest you go back and do your research because I did mine. And I need to say that some of these tweets, they were old, 2011, 2010, 11, 12, 13, and 14. But the point being is that Maul was like in his early 30s, late 20s. He was a grown man feeling that it was A-okay to sit up and spew this negativity and this hatred towards black women. And it's I don't even know, like where this is even coming from. And I can imagine that if he's saying this online, and he feels this comfortable and this emboldened to say that those things online, I can imagine what he's saying behind about black women behind closed doors. I can imagine what him and all his boys sit up and the disrespect that they spew about black women, probably in front of all these other non-black women. And it just comes off as so desperate and so, desperate is the word I can say for it. It's basically like look at me, look at me. I don't like black women. Look at me, look at me. I disrespect black women because I don't like black women. Look at me. I like you. I like you. I don't like them. I don't like those girls. I don't like those dark skinned girls. I don't like black women. I like you. And it's just so it's hurtful, first of all, because as when you watch Joe Budden podcast and they do these live streams, these live casts, when people come out to support, the women who hit on Maul the most are black women, or dark skinned black women at that. Black women love him and show him nothing but love. They show him nothing but praise. He goes to these shows and black women are there. The crowd is full of black women. It's not full of these Spanish women that he so called love. It's not full of these Asian women or these white women. It's full of black women who are coming out and supporting him. And he is a man who's still single. So for all this bigging up of Latino women and of Spanish girls that he do, you still couldn't find a woman that you consider worth marrying. And I think you don't have no kids, so you still ain't find a Latino woman that was worth having children with. So evidently, it ain't black women's fault that shit ain't working out for you. It ain't Latino women's fault. Evidently, there's something up with you and the way you think and the way you carry yourself that has you attract women that ain't shit. And I'm not saying that, he feels this way because he dealt with a lot of like ancient black women. I don't know. I don't know where this type of anti-blackness comes from, other than black men feeling like the only way that they can get these women's attention, these non-black women's attention, is by disrespecting black women and letting them know that they don't like black women and that they would prefer to be with them. And I hear that this is the sentiment and this is how it is in areas like New York City and New Jersey. I've never been there, so I don't know. But I know from experiences of like living in Colorado, which is where I recently lived, the black men there prefer to be with white or Latino women. It's Colorado was the first place that I experienced black men telling me that, oh, I only date white women, or at the first time I've had black men tell me, like, oh, I want light skinned children, like, I don't want dark skinned children, and if I'm with you, that will heighten my chance of having dark skinned children. And I am dark skinned. I'm a chocolate girl, but I'm not that dark by any measure. I'm definitely not Amara Negra dark. I'm definitely not Lupita dark. So, but I'm still dark enough that I get told that being with you would cause me to have dark children, and I don't want that. And I always said that the reason why the black men are like that in Colorado is because there is a small population of black people, and there's predominantly Mexican women and white women there. So when white and Mexican women are the norm, when whiteness is the norm, our young black boys don't have black men telling them, like, don't fall for the hype, don't get caught up. Their mothers are not stressing to them the importance, and I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of black women do not stress the importance of black men being black women and what it does for our community. So when Latino and white women are the norm, this is what you gravitate towards. And in order for them to know that you like them, you feel like you have to publicly bash and disrespect black women so that these women know, like, you ain't never got to worry about me leaving you for no black woman, baby. I don't even like those dirty black bitches. I don't even like those, those ugly dark skinned girls. I don't even date them girls. I don't even associate with them. They can't offer me nothing. I only want you. So you ain't never got to worry about that. It's how a lot of these black men like mom think. Now, recently, I remember like a while back, BET had the social media awards, and Keisha Kaur, um, sorry, not Keisha Kaur, Cash Doll won an award. And then it was like, oh, we saw you checking out Cash Doll. He's, oh yeah, Cash Doll. Oh yeah, I like her. Oh yeah, Cash Doll. It did not sound genuine at all. I did not believe it at all. Nothing. It just did not sound genuine. But I wanted to believe it, so I went with it, and I laughed at the jokes, and I'm like, oh yeah, mom like him, Cash Doll this, Cash Doll that. But with the surfacing of these tweets, and then looking back on the conversations that's been had on Joe Budden's podcast, I now can clearly see that where I felt that his attraction to Cash Doll wasn't 100% genuine. Not to say that Cash Doll's not beautiful. Cash Doll is beautiful, and I love Cash Doll. I love her music. I think everything that she's doing, girlfriend, keep it up. I love it. But I always felt that it wasn't 100% genuine. And she's pretty much the only dark skinned girl that he's ever really mentioned in an attraction sexual manner. Um, any other time when a light skinned biracial mixed person comes up, that's who he's caping hard for. He's always caping hard for Nikki. He's always caping hard for, and then to even cape hard for another black woman, for another biracial or whatever she wants to call herself woman, who sat up and disrespect and belittled and berated black women, to sit up and support that, and then to go a step further to say that you would mate with that, which means that you potentially procreate with that. And since she's half black, you're black and dark skinned, there's a potential that you're going to have children with a woman who has anti-black sentiments, and you're okay with it. Like, okay with it. That is my hugest problem with some of the swirlers that are out there, is this fact that as long as you get to be with the person, you do not care if they have anti-black sentiments. You do not care if they have anti-dark skin sentiments or anti-aboriginal sentiments. You don't care as long as you get to be with that person and you get to feel what is, whatever that feeling that we call love is. You'll overlook their racist views. You overlook the colorist marks that they may say and just hope that your child isn't that dark skin so you don't ever have to worry about that. Hope that your baby doesn't have kinky nappy hair so you don't have to worry about those problems with your non-black or half black spouse. So that's some of my real problems that I have with swirlers, and Mala is clearly one of those types of black men who wouldn't mind being with a woman who was anti-black as long as it was an anti-black woman, and she still came over and hopped on his black dick. He'd still be okay and happy and all hunky dory. Like, oh yeah, sure, she called those black women the N word or nigger, or sure she called them monkeys or whatever. Who cares? As long as I still get the woman, I don't care what she's saying or how she dogging out black women. As long as I still get the woman and I still get my nut, like that's all that matters to me. So another thing that I found real problematic is the fact that, like, from what I can see, he's doubling down on it. Like, I don't understand what people's inability to just say I was wrong is about. Or maybe I do know. Maybe he don't feel like he was wrong. Maybe he feels like he's totally capable and has every right to sit here and belittle and berate and downplay and disrespect black women. He feels like he has every right to do that to black women. The hell with how I make y'all feel. The hell that your self esteem is impacted by this. To hell that I'm helping shape a negative view or negative conversation about you to the world. To hell with all of that. Maybe that is how he feels. I don't know. But all I'm going to say is that for me, well, all you have to do is say simply, I was wrong. I was ignorant. I didn't take the time to educate myself. I realized how my words and my actions impact black women. I didn't hold myself accountable or responsible for how I impacted black women. I didn't think it was my job to have to uplift them or to speak positivity to them. But now I understand what my role is in the community as a black man, and I promise to do better. It's as simple as that. I'm not saying that's going to erase it all, but shit, it's a start. It's a start. And like black men really have to start to be honest with themselves and really have to stand in their role as the leaders in the community. You cannot be spewing the same vile things that white supremacy says about black women to other black men and to black women and to the world. You can't be agreeing with white supremacists about how black women are. And that's exactly what you do whenever you get up on these platforms and you speak and you say vile and disgusting things about your own women. So that's what I'm going to say today. This is my first live stream, so leave your comments below. I'm sorry if it's really windy. I happen to be outside right now, but I just saw this trending and I've been thinking about it since Friday. Shout out to Paris, who actually broke this story and actually posted the tweets and came with the tea and the information for us all to be able to make a decision. Now, I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to stop supporting the Joe Budden podcast. Excuse me. I did listen to it this weekend, Saturday's episode. I wanted to see if maybe Maul, Lori Parks, and Joe Budden would address this that's happening. But honestly, it seems like they're going to try to ignore it or act like it's not even happening. And I'm here to tell them that that's not the right way to do it, because every day I see more and more videos. People already have the email to the CEO of Spotify, and people are already planning to start a boycott. Um, so I would suggest that Maul takes his head on, put your big boy pants on, and apologize and take this head on. Sit down with some black women, sit down with your mother, sit down with your sisters, sit down with your cousins, have them all there all the Black women in your life and in your community, and have them all there as you sit there and you own up to the horrible and hurtful things that you have said, and really address where that anger is coming from, where that disgust is coming from, so that you can find some reconciliation, and that maybe in the process you can provide some Black women some healing for some of the things that you have said, and some of the things that other Black men who have said the same things you have said to Black women that may have caused them some heartache. So um, that's what I'm going to say today. I'm going to go ahead and get off this live stream. My phone's about to die. So yeah, leave your comments, please. Like my page, subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment, and all that great stuff below. I'm gonna put more videos up soon. I'm gonna put all of my contact information up here soon, as far as my Twitter. I don't actually have Twitter on my Twitter, but I do have an Instagram and I have a Snapchat, and I dabble on Facebook every now and again. So I will put that information up to you along with my other channel. Right now, my hair is looking a little rough, but I do have a natural hair channel where I talk about how I take care of my natural hair, and I got my curls done. We all know that the shrinkage is real. It looks a little short, but it's actually pretty long. So if you just want more information about that, I'll put the links in the descriptions once it's posted about how you can find that information. Okay. All right. Well, you guys have a good day, and thank you.